Hey guys, what's up? It's Rosie. It has been quite some time since I sat down and spoke with you, so if you're still here, thanks. The past couple months have been quite interesting. That is to say, I was just in a very, very hard to dig out of depression pit. Pretty much like right around my birthday onwards, it's just sort of been like a black hole cesspool. And the month of June has been spent trying to build myself back up to a normal functioning human being. And here we are on the first day of July. So I am excited to be back. I'm excited to talk to you. I'm excited to want to do something again that is fun and a hobby. So thrilled to be here. Happy to have you if you are still here. And let's get into the reset. I think I might need to get a fan. So one second. Sorry in advance if the sound gets worse, but I need this to survive. So yeah, I know, man. Without this fan, I will not finish this video. So here we go. Like I said, May was bad. June was rough, but getting better. And so let's just do a quick little recap of the time I've been away, what I have neglected to tell you about, and like the good things that happened. Pretty much I was sick and traveling and sick and traveling and working and sick and traveling. On my birthday, I got COVID. Literally on my birthday. Like the actual day is when Kenan came home with COVID and gave it to me. So that sucked. Also sucked for him, obviously. And then I had to go to Austin, Texas for work. And then I came home and I immediately developed some kind of like sinus infection, I'd say. It really was just like a really nasty cold, but then I went on a plane because my next travel was to New York. And on that plane, I had the worst pain I think I've felt in my entire life. Like I genuinely thought I was having a stroke and going to pass out on the plane as we were descending because the congestion, it was isolated to the right side of my face and it felt like I had like millions of tiny little knives stabbing my face, but just like here. And yeah, so I got off the plane. I cried a little bit about it. And then I got home and my mom was like, why is the right side of your face so swollen? That's not good, go see a doctor. So I went to a doc in the box and that was such a fun moment. It was a month ago today. I got there June 1st. As someone who recently turned 26, my secondary insurance expired on May 31st. 24 hours prior. My secondary insurance was in fact in New York and full coverage, so I wouldn't have had to pay anything. But since that expired at the stroke of midnight on June 1st, I got to pay $200 for them to Zoom call me with a doctor to be like, well, you don't have COVID. And I was like, no shit. I know I don't have COVID. I had that 2 weeks ago. I have a sinus infection. And he said, okay, so I guess you have a sinus infection. And then I had to go buy amoxicillin. So that was great. No insurance coverage there. A real great start to my second trip. I was there for my dad's birthday, and then I was actually going up to Maine for a bachelorette party for my friend Miranda. And so I was like, you know what, we'll stop off in New York, we'll see the besties, we'll say happy birthday to dad. And then they let me steal their little Kia Soul and drive up to Maine and back, which was very, very much appreciated. It was a 6-hour drive. Maine, beautiful, stunning. I loved every second of it. It really, like, I think that was the point of June where I started coming back to life. We went to a beach town near Algonquin. It was me and a bunch of people I didn't know, except for Miranda, and that was so lovely because they were all wonderful, and I love Miranda, so I knew I'd love her friends. It was just like a lot of fun, a lot of genuine fun. That was it, and it was great. And then I came back to New York, and from New York, I flew back to Austin for a training meeting I had to do, so a second work meeting. And that honestly was really fun. Like, both work meetings were great because I work remotely, and so I got to see all my coworkers in person the first time, and then the second time it's like a specific cohort of people who started within the last year or so. We did karaoke 2 nights in a row at a bar, and it was great. I lost my voice from doing the karaoke 2 nights in a row. Didn't have it back for like 4 or 5 days, but otherwise physically I was okay. I did put my body through it that month. I was ill. I was drinking a lot of alcohol, much more than I normally do. I was waking up hungover and then having to go to work. So it was really quite the time, but we made it through. Now I've been back for about 2 weeks and I'm starting to feel normal, and that is great. I've been slowly trying to like recreate a routine here. I've been seeing my friends and just once more, like, you know, doing the things that make me happy and feel like a good normal person. During the depression, it's so hard to get out of your own head, and just along with that, there were like some very real, you know, things going on in my personal life that I needed to navigate. But those were just compounded by the fact that I like felt like shit and my antidepressants weren't working. So that was also because I was not taking them as frequently as I should. So take your meds, kids. That's the story here. I have been slowly working back to being a person again. Work has been going pretty well. I have one more work trip and then I'm done traveling for work for this year, and I shouldn't have to travel for work this much in a year again, for a while at least. So that'll be nice. And that's at the end of July. But for these next few weeks, it's Kenan's birthday. It's obviously the 4th of July this week, so I get 2 days off, which is pretty great. I've been slowly easing back into my habits and my hobbies, and the first thing I had to jump back on was reading, because the past couple months I couldn't have the attention span to get through a story. June was a very good reading month compared to May. I'm really starting to feel like myself again. That's a recap of the past couple months. You were not missing very much, and I'm glad to be back here and talking to you and feeling normal. So that's good. I'm very excited to get back into YouTube, and like I have wanted to make videos on and off for the past month or so, but I have a couple filmed. We might see them. I think there's one cleaning one where I like actually do get my shit together that will make it to the feed. However, I just like, I would film them, but I couldn't make myself edit them. I didn't want to look at myself. I didn't want to hear myself talk. But like I said, I'm excited to get back into it. I'm excited to catch up on YouTube. Quite honestly, the only things I've been watching consistently are like spooky ghost videos, which are my go-to when I can't think and don't want to think, is I just put on a creepy little ghost video and I don't really pay attention to anything else. So I need to catch up on like months worth of content from my friends, the wonderful creators that I adore, and the people that I genuinely like want to know what is going on in their lives. So if you see me commenting on a video from 2 months ago, it's because I love you and I'm sorry. I obviously did not have any goals written down for the month of June. We didn't do a June reset. I did have some ones from May, but I go over those in my getting my shit together video, which you will see next. And we will set some new ones for July today. But first, we have to go over the favorites. Let's begin with the medium. I finally did it. I finally watched all of Bridgerton. Just the pollen hype really got me into it. I was like, you know what? I do want to see a curvy girl get what's best for her. And it was great. It was really good. I watched like the first half of season 1 and I'm glad I finished it. I do love Daphne. And season 2, I adored because I loved Kate so much. However, obviously it was like a Taming of the Shrew type of thing. And I hate the Taming of the Shrew. I just hate it. It's my least favorite Shakespeare play. And so when it clicked for me, I was like, okay, well, but it's fine, because it ended up a lot better than Taming of the Shrew ever could. And then season 3, so good. I was not a particularly huge fan of Colin throughout the series at any point. However, I did love Miss Penelope, and I really adored, obviously, that she was like girl boss CEO of Lady Whistledown. So I'm glad to see, you know, everything get resolved. I'm excited to see where they go from here, because I've never read the books. My friend Valentina was in the process of reading the books. I need to watch her vlogs on it, but like I remember her saying that at least one of them was like utterly boring and not as good as the show. So I do wonder what they do in the books from this point onwards. We'll see, because yeah, how do you keep it going? Anyways, whatever. You're so cute. Also, if you see me like doing this, Iggy's down here. and just being adorable, and I need to give him some pets. Music, of course, I've been hearing Please 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 by Sabrina Carpenter. I'll say that plus Espresso have made me interested enough that I'm going to start looking into her music. I've never actively listened to her. I have a vague idea that she was on Disney Channel at one point, but that might be wrong. I know nothing about her, except that she also opened for Taylor Swift. So, but those two songs, you know, little earworms stuck in the head. Backstabber by Kesha on her OG album Animal. My friend Jess made a Challengers edit to this song, and it has been on repeat in my head and on my YouTube for the past like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whenever she put it out. I'll link it down below. It's so good. But yeah, that song was just too perfect. It was so good. And like when something hits just right, like a song with a piece of media or a character or something, it finds a home in here. I still think about edits from high school that I saw and loved. So yeah, that was a good one, Jess. And then of course, anything by Chapel. This month has been huge on Chapel without me even like actively playing her on my phone. She obviously has blown up. Y'all know I have been an avid Chapel supporter since 2020, and so I love that she's having her moment. But yeah, so it's just been kind of fun and cool to hear her like on the radio or like out at clubs and like at the bars and stuff and not have to request it, because, you know, I mean, it's like she's made it, and I'm just so happy for her, and I love to hear her just in the wild. And then we have a couple like physical favorites, I guess. These sort of like run under beauty and fashion. I picked up the Peach and Lily Glass Skin Water Gel Moisturizer. I think in the top of, yeah, I think at the end of May. Because I'm almost out of my moisturizer from BioRepublic that I'm okay with. I don't mind it, but I don't love it. The one I really loved from that brand, I bought in Mexico last year and I can't find it again. So I was like, you know, we just have to try something different. And I've been interested in Peach and Lily for a couple of years, but I never wanted to bite the bullet because their stuff is kind of expensive. I think this is like $44. But it's a decent size, and I've heard such really good things about it. Gel moisturizer has never been like what I reached for. However, I will say this one is really nice. My skincare routine has not really changed in a while. However, I did start breaking out a lot more in May and June. Or, yeah, pretty much just May, but I think that was because like I was just not taking care of myself and feeling gross. But I use the Kiehl's Midnight like face oil scrub in the shower, and then I will either use the Midnight Repair Serum if I'm going to bed, or I will use the Tower 28 like facial spray and then a moisturizer if it's like during the day. And so I've been using this moisturizer and my skin has cleared up since using it. So I'm a big fan so far. It's a little sticky when you first put it on, but when it dries, your skin feels really like smooth, which is nice. So the Glass Skin Water Gel Moisturizer, I have been enjoying it. And then next we have the YSL Rouge Volupte Shine in number 44, which I don't know if it has a real name or not, but it is just this very beautiful nude pinky shiny lipstick. And I had purchased this. Oh no, it's really melted. Okay, we're gonna fix that really fast. I mean, I guess might as well use it. I had purchased this for myself as a birthday present back in like 2021, and I never used it. I loved it. I thought it was beautiful. I would only wear it on special occasions. And then this year, 2024, I've been like very much subscribing to the every day should be a special occasion. You should use all of your special stuff, because otherwise it's just never gonna get used and you're gonna have it forever and it's gonna be like, yeah, what was the point? And it is just so like, it is the perfect formula. It is not sticky. It is very smooth. It tastes like watermelons. I think that is my favorite part, is that it tastes like watermelon. And I'm just such a huge fan of that. And the color is perfect. It's like an everyday nude. You can't go wrong. And then the last like beauty product, I don't know if I wouldn't even consider that this. This is just sort of like a surviving product. This is the Mega Babe Thigh Rescue Anti-Friction Stick. And I have thick thighs, quite obviously. I have always just put, you know, some deodorant down there, make sure the friction isn't too bad. It would wear away decently quick, but it did the job. I was like, why would I need to purchase this? Because I just use deodorant and it looks like the same exact thing, but it's not. It's like coconut oil, maybe? There are a lot of ingredients, but essentially it feels like I'm rubbing coconut oil on my legs. And it's a little shiny, so I've noticed that. But I find that it lasts so much longer than the deodorant I was using. And it just makes it, I do not have chapped inner thighs right now. They're a little bit bad from the other night because I forgot to use this. But the whole summer, I've been in shorts, I've been in skirts, I've been using this. And I have yet to have a really bad chafing incident, which every summer there's at least one. I buy the hype. I'm into it now, and I can recommend this from one thick-thighed girl to another. Okay, and then our final favorite is this tote. This is my Big Bud Press everyday tote in this beautiful cloud, like sunsetty print by a surfer artist. I will find out his name and put it right here. But it's a collab they did with him, and he unfortunately passed away in the past like year or two, I think. Big Bud Press has a couple prints that they designed with him that either were released and they're re-releasing or were never released, and they are releasing now for the first time. And from this collection, I was like, I love that print so much. I adore it. And I don't have one of their large totes prior to this. I don't know if you could tell, but it has like huge pockets. It's nice and long, very big on the inside. And this I've been using as my work tote. So as I have been on multiple work trips and having to fly everywhere, this has been great because it's been my carry-on, as well as when I get to the place, my work tote, because it fits my laptop, fits a notebook, fits a book, fits a million things. Like, it is so much bigger. It's like a Mary Poppins bag. And I am such a huge fan. I have to say, if you like any of the prints for the Big Bud Press, like tote, go for it, because I've used this thing so frequently. I've been using it for about a month and I love it. So, have to recommend. Also, my final favorite of the month is Iguardo here. Mr. Ignasty, if you will. He's a favorite because we've finally become besties. He has stopped pooping all the time on my floors, which is so good. And through the dark, rough couple of months, he's really been there to like hang out and like love me and snuggle with me and make me happier. And I love having a little buddy. And now that he isn't peeing and pooping everywhere, I really do consider us friends. So shout out Igman. Good job. He's just a little baby. He's a little Iggy baby. You're so cute. Okay, this next section is going to be the reading recap. We did pretty good this month, especially considering, you know, it's been rough the past couple of months. I got super ahead in the beginning of the year and now I've been lagging. But I feel like we're back on our game. I read a good series and now I'm like, okay, I'm ravenous for more books. I will read you off all the books I did read this month, and well, actually, I guess I should go over May as well. May was not bad, what I read in May, but I did not read that much. I read 5 books, not bad. In May, I read The Age of Magical Overthinking by Amanda Montell, loved it, 5 stars. Funny Story by Emily Henry, of course, loved it, 5 stars. A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed, which I had tried listening to on audiobook, and I just couldn't do it. I hated the narrator. So I got the actual physical book and very much enjoyed. I liked the world building and the lore and the characters. So that one, once again, 5 stars. I finally pushed through Powerless. I had been reading Powerless. Let's see. When did I start Powerless? I started Powerless on March 19th and I finished it on May 21st, which is the longest, what is that, 2 months? I've taken to read a book in a very long time. I had to keep starting and stopping. It was just too similar to the Hunger Games for me to completely buy in. It was the Hunger Games with fantasy, and then I don't know, it just did not capture me. I know the second book comes out this month, I believe, so if I can get that from the library, I'll try to read it. However, now that I finished this one, I'm like, yeah, okay, it's done. I read the last 2 currently released Warrior Cats books in the main series. I did it, y'all. I caught up, which were Thunder and Wind. And then there's one more left in this like overall arc, and then they've already announced the next arc, so I guess I'm locked in for a bit. But my goal for the rest of the year is to read the rest of the super editions and the mangas. we'll see. We'll see if I am able to do that, because I still do want to make Warriors recap, just because I think it'd be kind of funny and fun. I read all of the main Warrior Cats books. It only took me 9 months. And that was May. Then I read The Lighthouse Witches by C.J. Cook, which was okay. It was not my favorite, but it was fine. Then I read For the Love of the Bard. Oh my god. I wanted to like this book so bad. It was about a girl going back to her hometown to run a Shakespeare festival for the summer. Like, that sounds incredible and completely up my alley. However, this bitch. This is what I wrote on Goodreads. Every time she said bard instead of god, I lost a minute off my life. I gave it 3 stars only because it did improve toward the end, and the never-ending Shakespeare references faded to the background as I actually got interested in the main 2 characters. The amount, like, I love Shakespeare. I love Shakespeare. It is practically what I majored in college with my theater degree. That's the only shit we really did. Every other line. There was, oh my bard, what the bard, in the name of the bard. They would quote plays, they would make references, and I'd be like, girl, this is too much. You need to stop. You need to stop thinking and talking like this. She's supposed to be like a 30-year-old woman. I couldn't do it. So I did finish that book. I have the second book. The second book I do think might be a little bit better because it's about one of the sisters, and the sister is like a lawyer from New York and a normal speaking person. So that one might be a bit more bearable, but I don't know. I took a break. And then after that, I read my favorite book from these past 2 months, which is Where the Dark Stands Still by A.B. Poranek. And like, number one, look at this cover art. Like, it is so gorgeous. And this was essentially a Polish retelling of Beauty and the Beast, where the beast was the Leshy, which is a forest spirit. And this was so good. It was really like a very well-contained singular fairy tale in the classic way a fairy tale is, where you don't get the happy ending, but you do get resolution. They did not set it up to be a series. It is a standalone book, which is so hard to find these days. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. I adored it. 5 stars. I put off reading it only in the sense that I didn't want it to end. And so it took me like 4 days to get through this when I really wanted to finish it in one sitting. But if you are looking for a book to read, I would highly recommend this one. It is also available on the audiobooks part of Spotify if you have premium. I started listening to this, and then once again, I just like audiobooks I don't think are for me. I think I need to try a nonfiction one, so it's more like a podcast. But I heard it and I was like, you know what? I like the idea of this story. I'm gonna read it, and thank God I did. Okay, and then I read Middle of the Night, which is the new Riley Sager book. Riley Sager, I would consider to be my favorite thriller author. This one was okay. I gave it 4 stars. It was very similar to Hidden Pictures, which I also thought was good, but there was like a lot going on. Middle of the Night, I wanted it to be more haunted house story than it was, because I've said it before, but my favorite book by him is Home Before Dark, and that one is just straight up haunted house. But it ends up being thriller in its own special way. And so this was like that, but less extreme. And there were just too many twists towards the end. I can do with a couple of twists. This one had like 4 consecutively in the last 2 chapters. And that was just too much for me. So knocked it down a little bit, in my opinion. Not my favorite Riley Sager book, but certainly not my least favorite. And then I finally got around to reading the Cruel Prince series. I just started Queen of Nothing last night, so I'm still reading it, but I read these 2 in a day, literally a day. Wow. I really liked Cruel Prince, The Cruel Prince. The characters were kind of whatever, but I loved Jude. The main character, Jude, fantastically well written. And then the Wicked King, getting into the characters a little more, but very specifically into the court politics. These 2 were so full of like lore and world building and like political intrigue that is kind of hard to do without like overloading. But Holly Black did it. And so these were both 4-star reads. They weren't my absolute favorite books of all time, but they were very good and I highly recommend them. The characters are sort of like, okay. Except for Jude, I love her, she's a badass. Like I said, currently reading The Queen of Nothing, which is the third in this little like trilogy. And then there are two more within the world. I think one is a prequel and one is like just like a follow-up sequential story. These were certainly two of my favorite and quickest reads of the past couple months. And so now that we've gotten through the favorites, all of the reading, quick little touch on like the no-buy financial goals section. I had always planned on taking May off for the month of the no-buy. That drifted into June with, you know, just the not setting any goals via like what the new no-buy would look like. So I'm gonna work on that in July because absolutely I need to get my finances back in check. So that will be in effect, I think, by the August reset, like what my no-buy for the rest of the year will look like. So that's that. And now I think it's time to like actually try to set some goals. Here we go. So to jump into the July goals, number one, I have read 7 books. My goal is to get to September and be at 75 books read. I'm currently at 55. It will be 56 very soon. I figured 7 books is like solid progress while still allowing myself to read more and like surpass it if I can really get myself motivated, which I do have a couple more flights I have to take this month and I will have a lot more free time to read. So I'm hopeful I can beat that. However, 7 is like what we need to do to get on track. Next, I have intentional movement 4 days a week. I have joined a new gym. I mainly joined because they have classes included in the membership I got, and I like classes. I think they're the most fun way to get exercise in. However, they are normally like $40 a class. So I was like, okay, I would rather pay $26 a month and take as many classes as I'd like, along with like using the treadmill and whatever, rather than $40 a class to do like one very specific thing that I like. So I want to try the new classes. I want to do intentional movement 4 days a week. It's been a bit hard with the heat to like do it outside. However, I have been using my walking pad inside and then immediately showering because we also do not have AC throughout this place, which sucks. We do have a unit that we like bought for our main room and this tiny little fan I got pumping in here that Kenan and I share. But yeah, with the extreme heat, it's been hard to do anything and not sweat through your entire outfit. However, intentional movement 4 days a week, I think, is a good goal. For the first week and a half, I moved every day just because I hadn't been in control of that in a while. And I was like, I'm in control. I want to do it. And then I've sort of eased up over the past few days. And now I'm like, okay, this seems like a nice in between and something definitely doable. Next, update Depop. I have a ton of clothes that I have culled from my closet, and they were literally just lying on the little couch I've been sitting on for like 2 weeks. So I just need to take pictures of them and upload them and just get back into the Depop grind, especially because I need to make some money. Your girl needs some money. So that's probably the easiest and most efficient way for me to do that. Next, I want to upload 4 times on YouTube. I only want to aim for once a week right now. I just need to get back into it, you know? And if I do more than that, that's fantastic. If I don't, then at least I did 1 time a week, and that is consistency, baby. Very similarly, I want to post 4 times on Insta over the month. I have been lurking on Instagram for quite some time now since I last posted, mainly because I've been having, you know, some body troubles, not really feeling the fits I've been putting together, but I need to get over that and just like get back into it again and enjoy it because I'm seeing some cute outfits and I'm like, damn, I want to make some cute outfits, and then I just don't. So we're gonna do our best. Next, I need to offload some books. I have this huge pile that has only gotten bigger of books that I want to get rid of and like not have in my collection anymore. And so some I'm gonna put in little free libraries, some I'm gonna try and sell at the local bookstores, some I might just straight up donate if I find an area to do that. Maybe the library, I don't know. But they're just sitting in a pile, waiting. And it's a very large pile. It is 2 piles currently. So would love to get rid of some of those. And then I need to find a psychiatrist, which has been on my list since literally 2020. But a lot of them don't take my insurance, and it's just quite the hassle to get through. However, it is something that my therapist and I have decided is a priority for this month because she's going out on maternity leave, and I think I need new medicine, and it's not going to happen like in that interim until she comes back. I just know. So we're trying to get it done now. So I just had to find a new psychiatrist so we can change the medicine around and just really like get a little more clarity on what's going on in my old noggin. Yeah, so I'd say that's pretty important. And I'm hoping I can just get it done. And those are all my goals. And there we have it, our July reset. Obviously there was a lot to talk about. It's quite the lengthy little video. But thank you so much if you stuck around, if you're hanging out still. I really appreciate it. I would love to hear if you have any fun June highlights, or if you have anything exciting coming up in July, as well as if you have any goals you'd like to share. Or if you're continuing with the no-buy, I would also love to hear that and see how it's going for you, because obviously it did not go very well for me over the past couple months. So some inspiration would be well welcomed. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful whatever time of day you're in. I love you very much, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.